What's up, everybody? Back here with another video. First off, I want to say I hope everybody's staying safe right now during this time. It's gonna be a crazy MLB season. I've heard that, I'm not sure when we're gonna start, when it's gonna start, either June, July, sometime around then. But anyways, I hope you guys are staying safe and everything. So we got our MLB Division predictions today. My favorite video of the year, probably, because I think this is so interesting. I got just because I haven't like memorized, my predictions. I got it right here, so I can just look on them. So occasionally I'm gonna be looking on the other screen. But anyways, let's get right to it. So first off, we got the AL Central. Not a very good division, honestly, this year. I mean, it's probably only gonna have one playoff team. I don't think the Indians will make the wild card. So speaking of, I had first place the Twins, second place the Indians, third White Sox, fourth Royals, fifth Tigers. Okay, so I chose the Twins to finish first because first off, I think they probably have the best lineup in the MLB. Especially after getting Donaldson, great acquisition there. Their rotation is still pretty solid. I mean, they have Barrios, Odorizzi, and then um, Barrios, Odorizzi. They lost Martin Perez to the Red Sox. Thank you very much. But I mean, their rotation, it's still like pretty decent. Oh, and they got Kenta Maeda. That's right. Third starter is Kenta Maeda. They got from the Dodgers. So their rotation is decent. Obviously the Indians have the best rotation in the division, but I don't think the Indians lineup is nearly as strong as the Twins. Twins lineup, you got Polanco, you got Rosario, Donaldson, Cruz, Garver. I mean, it's just a load. Buxton's coming back, just a loaded lineup. Really good. Oh, and what's Arias? I think his name is Luis Arias, second baseman. Played well in the playoffs. So like I said, loaded lineup. Really good team, and just a loaded lineup. Their bullpen is okay. It's an okay bullpen. Hopefully Tanner Rogers can get his mess together closing. I know he's going to be their closer. So we'll see with them. So I had Indians second place. Got my favorite, probably my favorite pitcher, Mike Clevenger. Really like Mike Clevenger. Bullpen is decent. I like Brad Hands. Fine bullpen, and lineup is fine. You know what I mean? But it's like if Santana has a bad season, they're not going to be very good. I mean, they have Lindor, great hitter. They have Mercado, he's good. They lost Kipnis. I don't know if that's a huge loss, but they lost him. And I don't even know who the first baseman is. So Carlos Santana. And then they have Perez is catching. It's just not a very good lineup. That's the bottom line. So I really, even though they may have the best rotation with Clevenger, Kluber trade was terrible, by the way. I don't know why they did that. But they have Clevenger, Beaver. I'm a little rusty in their rotation. Clevenger, Beaver. And they trade away Trevor Bauer too. I don't know. Their rotation's very good though. And then so next we have the White Sox. White Sox made a lot of good upgrades. Grandal contract was a little bit of an overpay. I mean, they gave him 4 years for like $62 million, something like that. I wouldn't give 4 years to him. He's gonna suck in like 3 years, but he's a really good catcher and he's underrated. I really like him. I think he's a great player. They also got Dallas Keuchel. They got a number 2 starter, which they needed. I don't think he's a number 2 starter though, to be honest, for like a good team, for a playoff team. I don't think he is. And then their bullpen is still not very good. But I think we'll see a big improvement for them. A couple of my friends said they can make the wild card. I don't think so because their starting pitching isn't good enough. They only have two good starters, and maybe Ronaldo Lopez will have a good year, but who knows? Then we have the Royals. Royals are still rebuilding. I feel bad for them. They got Bobby Witt in the draft. He's a stud. They're gonna get another stud this year, either Austin Martin, Torkelson, or Mackenzie, or the guy from the pitcher from Georgia. Look him up. So they're gonna get someone good in the draft, and they're still rebuilding. I like their players. I like Hunter Dozier. I like Mondesi. Um, I mean, I like this Perez. I like Salvador Perez. He's coming back this year. I like their players, but it's gonna be a long time, man, before they're good again. They're rebuilding. And that's the same with the Tigers. And this is why I say primarily this is why this is such a weak division, is because they have two teams that are just really not good. They're just clear rebuilders. Tigers, man, there is some light at the tunnel, I think, but like they've been rebuilding for like 5-6 years, and they only have like 4 top 100 prospects. They're terrible at trading. Um, they don't, they had a chance. I think my friend told me they had a chance to trade Fulmer for like Javier Baez, and they didn't when they could have. They're just not good at trading at all. They got Casey Mize, they got Matt Manning, and then they got C.J. Abrams maybe in the draft. Riley Green. They got Riley Green last year in the draft. He's pretty good. And then they have the first pick this year, so I think they'll get Austin Martin, and that's great. That's another addition, but bad contracts for them. Miggy, terrible contract. I love the guy, but not a good contract. Jordan Zimmerman, horrible contract. But I mean, they're basically building from the ground up because they don't have anybody right now on their team who's like, gonna be good for them or like sustain for them. You know what I mean? Like the Royals have Mondesi and like Dozier, who I can like see playing for them in like 5 years. I can't for anybody for the Tigers. So they are like literally building from the ground up. So they got a long way to go. So next we got the AL East, home of the Boston Red Sox, my favorite team. So in the order I had the Rays in first place, Yankees in second place, Red Sox third place, Blue Jays fourth, Orioles last. Okay, so I had the Rays in first place, first off, because they have the best three starters in the game in terms of, top three. They have Glasnow, Snell, and Charlie Morton. That's not in the order. Tyler Glasnow could win the Cy Young. Calling that. He's so good. I mean, he just throws like 100 effortlessly. I mean, I just love watching him pitch. He's probably my favorite player to watch pitch because like it looks like he's not even trying, and he's throwing like 99 miles an hour. He's got a nasty breaking ball. He was 6-1 before he had Tommy John. Or I don't know, I think it was Tommy John, but he hurt himself pretty badly, and he came back at the end of the year. But he was 6-1, and I was like, this guy could win the Cy Young. This guy could win the Cy Young. So he's great. Blake Snell, did well last year, won the Cy Young the year before, and then Morton was awesome, Cy Young candidate. Their lineup, they lost their best player. I think Tommy Pham was their best hitter. Probably not their best. I mean, Morton's probably their best player, I guess, but I don't know. So yeah, they lost Tommy Pham, but they got Hunter Renfroe. He hits. Basically, I feel like they're going for a team that hits a bunch of home runs. Like they brought in Carlos Martinez for they traded him for Matthew Liberatore. They just have a ton of power hitters. You know what I mean? Like they got rid of all their contact hitters, and they're just trying to hit home runs. That's all they're trying to do. But I like their lineup. I like Yandy Diaz. Really good last year in the playoffs. I like Austin Meadows. I like Mike Barrasso. They lost Travis d'Arnaud also, so Zunino is going to catch for them this year. Great waiver wire pickup for them. He was awesome. He's on the Braves now. And then, brought in Martinez, brought in Renfroe. So it'll be interesting, but the reason why I have them in first, and the main reason is because they're bullpen. Probably the best bullpen in the MLB. They traded away their closer, Emilio Pagan, who I love. Great pitcher. Love Emilio Pagan. I think he's so good. And so they traded him away to the Padres. And I don't really know why. I mean, they got a good prospect, I think, in return. I'm not sure if he was top 10 or not in like the Padres system, but they still have Diego Castillo, something Rowe, I can't remember his last name, Nick Anderson, Alvarado, and what's his name, the lefty, this left-handed guy who I can't remember his name, but this another lefty, Ryan Yarbrough, so they got a sick bullpen. I think it's better than the Yankees. Yes, I do. And yeah, that's that. Next, we got the Yankees. So the Yankees, you know, believe me, I would have predicted them to win the World Series. But now Severino's injured. Herman's out for the year because of drugs or something. He took steroids or something. I don't know, but he's out for the year. And Paxton, Mr. I get hurt every 3 weeks if I throw a baseball, is injured too. So their rotation's really depleted. So I mean, they got Garrett Cole, yeah, but their 2 is going to be Tanaka. He's not a number 2. He's a very consistent starter, and I'll finally give praise to him. I always been a guy who's like, Tanaka's overrated. He's not that good. He always makes starts. He's always consistent, so I'll give him that. And I wouldn't say he's overrated anymore. I think he's pretty good. But, I mean, their 3 starter, they're going to have to bring up Davy Garcia, who's their number 1 prospect. He'll probably be in their rotation. I think Jay Happ's still on their team. Not sure. Fact check me there. So he'll probably be their number 3. But not a good rotation here. The lineup it might be better than Twins, honestly. It's probably the best in the MLB. That's a huge debate on who's the best lineup. It might be the Yankees, though. You know the deal. Voit, Judge, Torres, lost Gregorius. So that is a loss. But they still have Andujar. They didn't trade him. Just a loaded lineup. Jerry Sanchez, the Sanchino. So just loaded lineup. Really good. So it'll be interesting. And they got a great bullpen. So we'll see. Chapman was a little shaky last year, but we'll see. Next, we're moving on to my team, the Boston Red Sox. Gonna be a rough year for the Sox. So Chris Sale, as you saw in my last video, out for the year. Really unfortunate. Sucks. Terrible. So now we got Evaldi, Rodriguez, Martin Perez, and then they cut Hector Velasquez. I don't even know who their 4th and 5th starters going to be. Brian Johnson. Then their 5th starter, no idea, buddy. So, terrible rotation. Miserable rotation. I don't know why they traded David Price. I like David Price. Some people didn't like him. I love David Price. Like the guy. And Sale's out for the season. So, look, this is going to be a rebuilder. I was saying to a lot of my Red Sox friends, this late start helps us because we get Verdugo back for opening day, so he can hit. Gonna be a great lineup. This team's got a great lineup. I mean, it's gonna be Verdugo, Verdugo, Bogarts, Devers, JD Martinez, Chavis, Vasquez, Bradley Jr., Benintendi. It's a solid lineup, honestly. But we've got some rebuilding to do, and then the bullpen.